Hello, welcome back. I am Darcy Darkness. This is Confessions from the Dark Side, and today is Confessions from the Cranky Side. And how are you all in this wonderful community? I'm going to get a disclaimer out of the way because it's me, and this is about the Crow, and it's going to get Darcy. We are so full of so much adult content that some of you may think this is unnecessary and some of you may think this is needed. If you are one of those people, then thanks for checking us out. But I will say this only once. If you can't stand the heat, then get the fuck out of my kitchen now. For everyone else who likes what we have here, then regular scheduled programming will continue. Shall we get started? And are we ready? And what we're covering today? Well, I just got another article that is just popped up into my feed, and it is titled the Crow, formerly attached screenwriter, bashes upcoming reboot. Yes, yes, another person coming for the Crow, and not the fans that they keep blaming for shit. So apparently this was out on the 7th, which was yesterday, and the site is worldoffrill.com. Let's read it, shall we? Cliff Dorfman at Cliff Dorfman. If hypothetically one happened to see a screening of at the Crow underscore movie hashtag the Crow, which at Lionsgate is releasing in August, which was supposed to be June this month, but August, one might say it's horrible, it's unwatchable, don't waste your money, or can't believe it's so much worse than the original. It is, and don't. Now, this is the kind of thing that I have been saying since, finding out about who was playing Eric and the story change and the plot change and pretty much everything that goes around it. And they blamed the fans and the original cult following that we're going to tank the movie because of our opinions are so highly on a movie that's 30-year-old this year. But it's actually not, because we've had the old director, the old writer, now the old screenwriter, actors who were in the original movie, and people who were pretty much around the movie, like art directors and people who actually designed the set and things like that, all coming out saying that they are not happy with the kind of memory of the Crow, the way with having the, because it's like distasteful to actually have it this year. There's other factors, the fact that they're trying to use the old subculture, the fans from the old movie, and actually push basically the love, the respect, and the experience from the original movie and use that for the new movie, even though they've changed so many fucking things and fucked it up. And people have been shouting and bawling more than I have. And we've all been coming together online and basically telling us that we're not fucking going to watch it. We're not even going to download it. We don't want to fucking watch it. We don't want to see it. We don't want to part with our cash. We don't want this. No one wants this. And it's all brought to us by the guy who brought us Snow White and the Huntsman. And I will keep going for this guy because I don't like his work. I hate his work. And I don't think he's going to be able to capture what The Crow actually stood for in 1994 and 2024. So let's see what the article says, shall we? I've already tackled my reservations about the up and coming remake of The Crow. A 3-minute trailer was released in March via Lionsgate. It still didn't really sell me on this one. Now, Lionsgate are doing a few reboots, including Highlander, so not happy with that either. At the very least, director Rupert Sanders' reboot has been stamped with a hard R rating, yeah, because he thinks by making it incredibly violent, it's going to make people want to watch it. But you can shove violence in anything, it doesn't mean your story's any good, direction's any good, and the movie itself as a whole. It's said to be very violent. It's no secret the Crow reboot has been in development hell for the better part of 15 years. One of key figures in this saga was the screenwriter Cliff Dorfman, Warrior and Entourage, who wrote at least 2 drafts for the film in 2012 and 2024. Now that's 12 years apart, man. Still, do you know? Dorfman, who no longer shares a writing credit on the reboot, I wonder why, has apparently seen The Crow, and he doesn't seem too pleased about the finished product, and neither is Bill Skarsgård, by the way. He came out a few weeks ago and said he's not happy without giving you any spoilers that they fucked up the ending, but they want to make it a fucking franchise, and they've just pissed off the star of the movie. So much that he went onto his X account to vent about it. Here's what he had to say. Like I just said, if hypothetically one happened to see a screening of The Crow, which has been released in August, one might say it's horrible, it's unwatchable, don't waste your money, or can't believe it's so much worse than the original. It is, full stop, and don't, full stop. I'm just wondering why would Dorfman do this? He could have easily just kept his mouth shut and not said anything, and yet here he is going on social media to spread some venom about the film. There's a lot more to the story. The person who wrote this needs to understand that there is a lot more to this story, and he's coming out because most likely the director, the guy who gave us the shitty Snow White and the Huntsman and cast that terrible actress that is gormless as fuck in that movie. Oh god, I'm just so glad she's not in The Crow, because I think there would be even more of a rant if she was in that. Can you imagine? But you can voice your opinion all you want. It's the fucking internet, and the way Elon Musk is going, you can say whatever the fuck you want on his platform, but beware, people will say shit to you and throw shit at you. But it doesn't matter. Everybody has a voice, and everybody can say whatever the fuck they want, and that's how it should be. And again, you will piss off people and you will annoy people, but that's what social media is all about, and the internet is basically used as a mouthpiece for everyone to shout and vent. This reboot of the 1994 cult classic The Crow will be released on August 23rd. Bill Skarsgård stars in the role of Eric Draven, which we know, which we're not happy about, uneventful, anticlimactic, yada yada yada, which was made iconic by the late Brandon Lee in the original. Here is the synopsis. Soulmates Eric Draven, Skarsgård, and Shelley Webster, FKA Twigs, who the fuck is that? Couldn't fucking pick her out a lineup. Don't even know who the fuck she is. Are brutally murdered when the demons of her dark past catch up with them. Again, not the story from the original movie. Given the chance to save his true love by sacrificing himself, Eric sets out to seek merciless revenge on the killers, traversing the worlds of the living and the dead to put wrong the things that are right. Now, they've not actually really showed or discussed much of the storyline. This is more than what I've read, that basically they're using the living and the dead. Now, if you've seen the original Crow movie, it's not about that. The soulmate, Eric Draven and Shelley Webster, are planning their wedding, and they live in a horrible place. This is a very dark, dank place. It's basically overrun by basically criminals and not very nice people. And they write petitions about the standards of their building, like the way where they live is kind of run down, and they end up being killed before they can say their I do's, have their union, live happily ever after. And in this movie, as I've discussed before, the torment when Eric comes back, he goes back into his apartment where he lived with Shelley, and he relives her last moments over and over again. Everything he touches, he sees her. Not just the good memories, but the bad memories of her last moments in this earth where she's been attacked, essayed, and God knows what's happening to her. And he has to relive that. Not only did he die, and she'd had to die without him, he has to relive her last moments. Now, they're basing it on the violence of someone's past and them not being a very nice person and that coming back and biting them in the arse and their life being taken out, which is karma at the end of the day. The original story was about a man coming back to avenge the love of his life and the life that was taken from them both, and righting the wrongs of the people who did that to them. And now the franchise wants to continue on his story, but it was never supposed to be. The Crow is basically his connection to life and death, and he is basically part of the Crow and the Crow is part of him. And you see that when the Crow is going over the city, you can see things through his eyes and you can see things through the Crow's eyes as they're happening. And Bill Skarsgård came out saying that the ending is not how he would expect it to be. And now the screenwriter who's done 2 screenplays and screenwritings of this adaptation with this director, and now he's not even got a credit at all on this. Whether that was by his own choice or not, it just goes to show that people are losing faith in this movie, and to bring it out in the 30th anniversary and it's not even a patch on the original, you can wonder why people are fucking pissed off about it. Skarsgård is joined in the cast of The Crow by singer FK Twigs, and again I don't know who she is, who plays Draven's girlfriend slash fiance, and Danny Houston from Yellowstone apparently. Sanders, again, shitty Snow White and the Huntsman, is directing from a screenplay by Oscar nominee Zach Balin King Richard. Filming on this one wrapped more than 2 years ago. So the whole reason for being of the original was Brandon Lee. He's the reason why it's such a healthy shelf life. Lee haunts every frame of The Crow, which had eerie parallels to his untimely death. A case of art imitating life. And again, that film holds big significance because not only is it a cult following because of the movie and the comic book, but also what happened in the movie. And do I think the movie would be as big? I've been asked this before. I still think the movie would be big, but it's just got this kind of eeriness about it because something real happened. a life was taken in the making of the movie, and not just the movie about life's been taken and wrong's been right. Darius Wolski noir photography was another iconic component of The Crow, and director Alex Proyas made a fever dream of a film that I don't think can really be duplicated. Now, I've got to say that last wee part there is very, very true. I don't think it can be replicated because of the circumstances. I don't think it can be replicated because it's not Brandon Lee. And I don't think it can be replicated because of the rest of the cast, the soundtrack, and everything else that made up that film. There's no one, they're never going to be able to recreate that and replicate that. Especially with the guy who did Snow White and the Huntsman. Are you fucking kidding me? So, what did you think of that from the world of View, your place for alternative movie news? Do you agree with Cliff Dorfman, the screenplay writer, who not only wrote a script for 2012 when they were looking at it because it was 2008 where they started to speak about a reboot, and also in 2024? He's wrote 2 scripts, as they said, and not once has he got a credit. Again, I don't know if that's because he didn't want his name attached to this shite that's coming in August, or it was the choice of the people who are in charge now. Who knows? Lionsgate are doing a lot of things that I don't agree with right now and Reboot, and they're also investing in a certain actor as well, which I will not go into because this is not a rant and a bitch at that actor. But they need to step up. Lionsgate need to. They're not going to make much money from this, and I think they now know that. At CinemaCon, they made a big thing about all the things that Lionsgate are bringing to cinema for the next few years. But I've yet to be surprised or happy about anything that they are bringing. There's not much excitement from me, and I don't think there's much excitement from many. They've basically cashed in on the reboots, and it will either make you or break you. And in this case, The Crow, it's going to definitely break them because no one is going to. You'll probably have a few people who will go see it out of the fact that they want to prove us wrong, us cynical fucks that know that it's going to be wrong, that we are right. But I just hate the fact that Bill Skarsgård, again, he's an actor with a job and he's doing his job, but he really needs to step away from it. This is like a complete hate, and it's not even. It shouldn't even be directed at him. It should be directed to the fucking director who's decided to make it look like the Suicide Squad. That Eric Draven looks like the fucking Joker. He doesn't look like the Crow. He could have easily did something similar, but he didn't. He's also went for the violence route over the kind of story as well. Violence in action. The original movie had a story, it had a plot, it had significance. It had a story that's still 30 years later that people think about and they're like, that's true love. Real love lasts forever. Are you going to watch the new Crow film when it comes out? Do you want to see it? Is it something that's on your list to watch this year at the cinema, or are you going to be like everybody else and wait till it's free to watch? Because we're not going to give them the money. Because they were already trying to milk the reboot and the remakes far too much. It's about time that Hollywood get their finger in their heads out their ass and actually employ writers that actually can write a story that's original, unique, full of wonder, something new with an old type of theme. Bring us into the 21st century. Are they going to give us something for the 21st century that's not been remade and not reiterated and through another person's eyes? Are we going to have something that we can go, oh my god, the movies that were out during like 2021 or 2020 and 2024 were shite. There was hardly any movies that are anything of greatness with the strikes and everything like that, and the way Hollywood's been going for more than 4 years now. It's been kind of like a downward spiral in that fucking cesspit anyway. Do we really need to reshape, ship out, ship off? Try and bring some new blood, some new vision, new talent? I think we do. That was Confessions from the Cranky Side, and that was an update from the Crow Reboot for 2024. I am Darcy Darkness. This is Confessions from the Darkside. If you like content like this, remember you can go check us out on our Confessions from the Darkside social media platforms, which are Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube, Amazon Music, Spotify, and Buzzsprout. Let us know what you think on our social medias, and let's get chatting about this topic, all the topics. Let's grow our community and spread how awesome the horror community actually is. If you want to get to know us as individuals, then you can check us out on our links below. I am Darcy Darkness, and my channel is Behind the Mash Reviews, and I have a YouTube, an Instagram, a Twitch, and a Kick. Lunar is lunarxrising, and he has a a YouTube, a Twitch, and an Instagram. And if you need to reach out to us at any point, you can contact us via email at confessionsfromthedarkside@gmail.com. I am Darcy Darkness, like I said. It's behind the mash reviews at gmail.com, and Lunar is lunarxrising at gmail.com. And I will see you in the next one. This is Confessions from the Dark Side. Later.